Hello guys, welcome back to my channel FCodes. Today we are going to solve the problem of the day of GFG of 9th March. The name of the problem is find the nth character, and it is a medium level problem, but the submission accuracy is very low. It is only 10%. So let's see what the problem is saying. So the problem statement is given a binary string S, perform R iterations on a string S, where in each iteration 0 becomes 0 1 and 1 becomes 1 0. Find the nth character considering 0 based indexing of the string after performing these R iterations. Okay, so this is the example mentioned here. So let's see what the problem is saying. So the problem is saying that we have been given a string and we have been given two variables, one is R and one is N. So the question is saying that for each iteration of R, we have to iterate this string and we have to do some changes. The changes are, if we got 1, we will change it to 1 0, and if it is 0, we will change it to 0 1. Fine. So this string, after the first iteration, this string will be, this 1 will be converted to 1 0, then this 0 would be converted to 0 1, this 1 would be converted to 1 0, and 0 is 0 1. Okay, so after the first iteration, this is the string which we get. So in this case, the R is only 1, so we have to do only one iteration. Let's say this R would have been 2, so we had to do the second iteration also, and then for this string we have to make the same changes. So you are seeing that after each iteration our string size has been increasing, basically double in nature. Look at this, it is of length 4, this is of length 8, and this is of length 16. Now what the question is that we have to simply return this index. Okay, so after doing all of this iteration which has been mentioned, we have to return this index from the final string. N is equal to 2, so this will be 0 1 2. So this 0 would be the answer because this is the second index. Fine, so you may have understood the question. Now let's see what the approach would be. So the first approach is obviously the brute force. So what we will do, let's say that this is the string given, the same R is equal to 1, this is the iterations, and this is the location, this is the final index which we have to find. Okay, this has been given in the question. So the first thing which we can do is that we will initialize a new empty string. Let's say this string is S1. So let's say that we are iterating this original string. So this is the index here. Now we will append, so when we encounter this one, we will simply append this 1 0 to the new string, and similarly when we encounter this 0, we will append 0 1. Fine, but this is only for this one iteration only. Okay, fine, so we will do this thing, but this is only for the one iteration. For the second iteration, definitely this S1 would be our new string. We will copy this S1 to our original string, and this loop will continue till the rth iterations. Okay, but this is not an optimal approach, and this will give a TLE. So I think you can code this on your own, because if I'm gonna show you the code and explain it to you, the video is gonna be longer. So I've explained this to you. Now you should code this on your own. Fine, now let's see the optimal approach. Okay, fine, so this is the question given here. This is the string, and this k is basically final index which we have to find after the iteration, and this n is the number of iterations. Fine, so what was the problem in the previous solution was that we were traversing this whole string and we were making changes. So if the string size is big, definitely doing all of these things, traversing and making changes in a string, will take a lot of time, and it will throw a TLE. But in this case, we don't have to do that, because it has been given that we have to find this location in the final array after this many iteration. So we can build some logic here. We can build some logic. So let's see that in this question, these iterations are given 2. Okay, so I've already written here the first iteration, what would be the value after the first iteration, and what would be the value after the second iteration. So if we see carefully here, these are the original elements of the string. Fine, so after the first iteration, if you can observe these are the original elements of the string here. Okay, after the changes, the distance between the original elements of the string has been increased. So after the first iteration, the distances between the two elements are 2. Let's see after the second iteration. So after the second iteration, these are the original elements and the distance between them is 4 here. After the third iteration, if there is any third iteration, the distance would be 8. So what we can observe, that after each iteration, the distance is increasing by double. So if there are n iterations, the distance would be 2 power n. Let's say in this case that the iteration was 2. So the final distance between the original elements is 4, and this 4 is 2 power 2 is equal to 4. So why we are doing this? We are finding the block size. In the final string, we are finding the block size. So after the final iteration, these are the blocks. So basically this block size is the same as the distance. Fine. But why are we finding this block size? We are finding this because we have to find this k value. Okay. We have to find this index. So in the final array, this index is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So in the final array, this is the index and the value of the element on this index is 0. So if we have to find this index only, so why do we have to make changes in all of this string? We are separating this block so that we can make changes only in this block and we can find our answer directly. So let's say that this is the 7th index which we had to find. So we need not to take care of all these blocks. Okay, we only had to care about this block and we have to see in this block that what is our value. Now let's proceed. There is one very important thing to notice here, that the number of the blocks here are the same as the number of elements in the original string. So in the original string, the number of elements was 5, and in the final string, the blocks are the same as the element number. So we can map the elements with block number, and we can assign them the block number. So let's say this was the element 1 0 1 1 0. So the block number which we have assigned is 0 1 2 3 4. Fine. So we have assigned these block numbers. Now we know that our answer lies in this first block. So why do we have to traverse all the array to do that if we know that our answer lies in this block? So what we can do is that we can simply expand only that element in which we can find our answer. So in this case, we can find our answer from this 0, because by expanding this element, we are finding this block and our answer lies in this block. So we just have to expand this element and we don't have to take care of any other elements. Fine. First we have to find the block size. So the block size in this case is 2 power n is equal to 4. Fine. Second we have to find this in which block our answer lies. Okay. So how do we find this block number? So we have been given that a k value is 7. If we are dividing this k with this block size which is 4, so basically if we are dividing this 7 with 4, we can find a block 1, okay, which is same as this number. So that's how we can find the block number. If we divide the k with a block size, we can find the block number. So the third thing which we have to find is the distance in the block where our element is located. So let's say that this is the block and there are several elements in it. Fine. And this is the k value here. So how can we find this location? We can simply find this if we are taking remainder with the block size. If we are taking the remainder with the block size, we can find this location with respect to this block only. Okay, so we have to find the remainder, we can say, or the location. Fine. So what we can do is that we can mod k with block size. If we are modding 7 with 4, we are getting remainder 3. This 3 is telling that in this block, in this particular block, where our answer is residing. So for the whole string, this is the index which we have to find, this index 7. But with respect to this block only, okay, let's say that these blocks don't exist. Okay, so with respect to this block only, what is the position of the k here? So we got the position 3. So let's say that 0, 1, 2, 3. So this is the position which we got with respect to this block only. So that's why we have found that location. Okay. Now we have found this 3 thing. Now how will we get our answer? So that was, let's say, our string, and this element was responsible for our answer. Okay, so what we will do is that we will use the same method which I've explained in the brute force method, and we will expand this. So let's say that n is equal to 2. Okay, so this was the element which was responsible for our answer. Now we just have only to expand this. So let's say that the n was 2. We have to do 2 iteration. So in the first iteration, the 0 will become 0 and 1. Fine. In the second iteration, this 0 1 become 0 1, okay, and 1 0. And if you're seeing this answer, this is the same as this block. Fine. After we get this string, what we can do directly, we can use this new string and we can directly find. So this location was the remainder, or you can say the location which we have founded. This is the third location, okay, with respect to this block. So if we directly return this position, we will get our answer. So maybe you are able to understand this. If you are not able to get any concept, you can ping me in the comment section. So let's see our code. See this code. Okay, I will make you understand by this code. So we have been given this distance. Distance is same as the block size. So we are finding this block size. Okay. After that we are finding this block number. So we get the block number by dividing. After that we are finding the location with respect to the block, basically the remaining or the location, you can say anything. Okay, fine. So after that we are finding that element which is responsible for our answer. So that's how we are finding the element which is responsible for our answer, and we are storing in a variable called root. Fine. After this we are creating a new string and we are using this value of root. So basically we are creating a new string. This new string is storing the value of that element which is responsible for our answer, in this case 0. Okay, so this 0 which I have already explained, this I've stored in new string. Okay, and in this string we will do the same thing which I have explained. We will expand this. Okay, so that's why we are using in this new string, and there will be only one element. Okay, fine. After that I am iterating for the rth iterations, and in each iteration I am checking if the value is 0, I am converting it by 0 1, and if the value is 1, I am converting it by 1 0. This line is this for loop is for the brute force approach, okay, which I have explained in approach 1. After this step we got our block in which our answer lies, and we will return our answer by this line. Okay, new string and the remaining. So this remaining is the location with respect to that block number. Fine. So let's see that we are going to submit our answer and if it is working or not. So all the test cases have been passed successfully and our code is working perfectly fine. So if you got any problem, if you are having any problem with the concept, and if you are not able to understand anything, you can ping me in the comment section and I will try my best to make you understand the question. Okay, fine. Okay, so that's all for today. I will meet you in the next video with the next problem of the day. If you like this video, please share and subscribe for more, and meet you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.